NIKKE has right now 8 active banners, and 5 of them are abnormal characters you can pull from the Evangelion collaboration on our part 2, which includes a small rerun for the first part and the first 3 units that we got. So let's talk a little bit about what characters are the strongest ones and which ones you should focus if you can only afford to pull 1 or 2 characters from all of these. If you can afford to get a copy of each, they are limited, they are not coming back. I would suggest getting a copy of each character. Once again, and when it comes to abnormal units and gacha games overall, the collaboration characters are always nice to have because for the most part, a lot of gachas tend to not do reruns. And also remember that this is not a rerun, this is a part 2. So I would not expect to be able to get any of these girls in the future. So if you like Evangelion, get a copy of each, right? Sounds kind of obvious. But if you're a collector like me, I don't like Evangelion, but I like collecting my girls. So, that said out of the way, before we start, as usual, hello the internets, welcome back to the Waifus. I am Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic is going to be a little bit on the priority for the Evangelion characters and which ones, in my opinion, are worth pulling if you could only afford a couple of them. I want to start with the worst character and make our way up into the best ones and the ones I would say you need to get at least a copy. So let's start with the characters you can completely skip and ignore. I'm sorry, okay, but these two girls are kind of useless. Now, when Fire Ray came out, I didn't build her because I don't really like her and her design is not my cup of tea. So I never got to build her, and I missed absolutely nothing. This is a character that was made to be buffing more the fire characters, but for the most part, it was made to buff specifically the other fire Asuka. But her own damage, in contrast to Asuka, is way lower. This is not a character that outside being a buffer, you are gonna be using for its own damage. So it's a character that made not a lot of sense, but it still can be used as a fire buffer. It's just that there is better characters to do that. And when it comes to the new Rei, I like her design a little bit more. She clearly has been buffed from the previous Rei, okay? I'm just saying Shifta was like, okay, people didn't like the fan service on the previous one, we need to increase it a little bit. So I did build her, and now I'm gonna be honest, it was a waste of resources. I was thinking on getting her burst to level 7, but I'm gonna be holding on to that, and I'm gonna actually be resetting her when we get a skill resets next time. The problem with Rei right now is that even though her damage is not bad, most of her kit revolves around the new Asuka. If you do not pull the new Asuka, she's useless. If you are not bringing Asuka into the team, a lot of her skills are gone, even on the skill 1 if you don't have the AT field status, right, on those targets. So she's a character that depends on Asuka, and her own damage is not even that good. Now, when it comes to buffing Asuka, because this is a buffer for her basically, right? How much extra damage are we talking about? A lot of people were thinking it was gonna be like way higher. And what I've been seeing so far, again, and maybe someone with like a way higher investment, Ray can talk more on this, but what I've been seeing is like a 20% more or less increase in damage on your Asuka, which is good if you don't consider that you can be putting something like Ludmilla, Winter Ludmilla, and get a better result because the debuff you're putting on the boss. Now, it's true that she also buffs machine guns, but I'm gonna be honest, the hitting up speed is not a factor to consider into this character or to build her because at level 1 it's already 100%, so does not matter. So sadly, these two Reis were basically made to support the Asukas, the other Asukas, which is a pity, but at least they are not useless characters. Like if we're talking about the tier list, the previous Rei it's on T1 and the new Rei will be also added into T1. Now, let's move into the other character in here that I will say you can get one copy, but it's not like the highest priority. That's gonna be the Fire Asuka. Now, Wind Asuka is better, and we'll talk about her in a second. But Fire Asuka will always get a place on basically elemental content because she's buffing fire characters while being a good DPS herself. And there is plenty of good fire characters. Plenty of really good fire characters. Not only that, but remember that this is a character that she buffs herself a lot. 83 attack, 120 attack damage, pierce, HP recovery, the hit rate. She is a really strong unit, and she will also be increasing damage to core for the bosses. So similar to Naga, she will always find a place on elemental content as long as the bosses have a core. And her self buffs makes it so you can put her on any team, plug and play, and she will be working out of the box without you having to worry about anything. So she is a good character, but still not the highest priority. The highest priority goes actually to the new Asuka and also to Mary. Now, I don't like Mary, but I'm gonna say that these are the two characters that if you can only get 2 of them, this should be the 2. Multiple reasons for this. First of all, Mary. When we talk about B2 buffers, there is not a lot of buffers. We still need 5 teams. You have your crown for your highest team, You have your Grave and now your Mates for your second strongest teams, your Tianaga if there are scores, and your Blank and Norb either for your shotgun team or for your last team. They are falling out to be like the last ones you're using. So if we talk about the other B2s, you have Rosanna, Rem, and Marciana. And I'm gonna be honest, Mary is gonna be going higher in the tier list into a 0.5 because the other ones are just not great. They are not great. They are decent characters, but they are not as good. So Mari is a character that since she came out has been used on absolutely every single raid. You are safe investing into her. I personally do not like her design a lot, so I have not invested in her. I don't think I will be invested in her. She's like a 4/4/4, no overload. And I will be resetting, like I was saying earlier, the new raid because I just don't care too much about her. I personally think it was kind of a waste, but it is what it is. At some point, I would love if Shift Up releases something to let us remove the overload piece on some of the characters or also reset that gear because my god, the amount of investment that goes into some of these characters, like for example, if you invested into your crow. So, like I was saying, Many is a character you can pick, no problem with that. And she's gonna be a buffer used on almost every single type of content and also, of course, for the Electro teams. And then lastly, we have, even though they are the highest priority, both of them, the best character on this collaboration, probably and the biggest surprise for everyone, is going to be Asuka. I made a video already on my first impressions if you wanna go check it out. And this is a little bit more of a test on 2 Core 7, Scarlet Black Shadow and Asuka Wille, both with 4 elemental lines. And as you can see on elemental content, Scarlet is doing 6 billion damage while Asuka is doing 4.2 billion. This is fantastic. Yes, if you bring Alice or Mana, SBS will still do more damage. There is no doubt in this. I'm gonna be honest, Will is a fantastic DPS, she's not as good as SBS, okay? She's great, she's fantastic. We didn't have any other DPS for Win, but the people say that they're at the same level. I'm gonna be honest, I do not think it's the case. SBS is just too strong overall, like when we talk about all types of content, right? Be it hard mode, be it normal, be it raids, SBS is leagues above Will. Still, Nick is a really powerful character and a really good DPS. She is the best character from this collaboration. She will be seeing usage not only on elemental content for the raids, but also as a normal DPS. Because just like the normal Asuka, like the Fire Asuka, you can put her on any team, the new one, and she will fit. She doesn't need specific team compositions to be doing good damage. This is non-elemental content, so 2.4 billion versus 1.9 billion, Rapid Red Hood destroying everything, right? And this is elemental. So even on neutral content, she's a character that will start seeing usage on the upcoming raids unless Shift Up decides to power creep these characters on the next patch, which, considering its Shift Up, it could happen. It could happen. Now that said, that's my priority list when it comes to the Evangelion characters. I think priority is going to be Asuka plus Mari, basically. Then you have the other Asuka as the priority, and you could basically skip both raids and not miss on a lot of stuff or a lot of buffs, again, in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree or would change any of this order. That's gonna be it for this one. As usual, we are live every day, links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool dinner rates. I'll see you on the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。